Chapter 3 The New Lands. What happened so far? 2013 release of Kingdom Roots, the Flash game developed by Nayo. 2015 release of Kingdom Classic, published by Raw Fury, a small dev studio including Nayo and members of Raw Fury. 2016 release of Kingdom, The New Lands. Yes, only 1 year later the sequel was released. Here is what I think happened. The Kickstarter promised things like fire, shepherds and unicorns, and Classic didn't have that. It felt like a full game, it played like a full game, but it didn't have those specific things. What I assume is the next game was already planned. Raw Fury released Classic as kind of a test. One thing that sticks out in Classic is the weapons workshop, like I mentioned in my last video. It's just 2 arrows and it feels out of place because the utility shop, the barracks and the farm shop had a very similar art style. You should watch my last video, by the way. The weapons workshop seems to be a last-minute addition to make it a whole game, which worked because Classic can stand on its own, but Classic doesn't feel like a full game, even after 20 hours. So what about New Lands? In my last video, which you should watch by the way, shameless self-promotion, but who cares? I said that Classic was a gigantic step forward and a small step backwards. New Lands is 2 small steps forward and a half step backward. Why 2 steps, you might ask? Well, difficulty is back. It's not as hard as the Flash game, but it's still difficult. And we have an iteration of some of the mechanics. But what are the differences? The units are the same. The weapons workshop looks better. There are unlockables and hermits, and there's a boat on every isle. The base game is pretty much the same. Vagrant camps, hiring, upgrading, and attacking portals work pretty much the same, so I'm not going to explain how that works. Just watch my 2 last videos, link in the description, and you will get the gist of it. I'm going to explain how the new stuff works, but I'm not going to explain the same mechanics again from the last game. So let's begin with islands. There are 5 isles, and your job is to build a kingdom on one island, escape, and build a new kingdom. After finishing the 5th, you start over again. There's no winning state in this game, which is fine, the game doesn't need to have a story anyway. It feels like a wasted potential though, but the game is not about that, so just wasted potential and not an actual flaw. Let's talk about ships. Apparently you and your crew is so incompetent that on every island they shipwreck your boat, and the monarch has to spend money to rebuild the boat and escape the island. Easy, right? No. Kind of. Remember frustration from Roots? And waiting? Yeah, it's back. And coupled with boredom. And waiting. And more boredom. And more waiting. I don't even know if I should explain how the boat works. But it's a main mechanic of the game, so I need to talk about it. Okay, the map is now an island which is limited by the cliff portal on one side and the coast on the other side. Every island has more and more portals that have to be destroyed for you to be able to safely move the boat towards the coast. The shipwreck can be found around the map, somewhere it's random on the first island anyway. Spend some coin on that, spend some more coin on the parts, builder's gonna build, Monarch's gonna spend that cash, baby. Why did I write that in my fucking script? I didn't want to mention prices, but I think I have to mention it here. The ship is made of approximately 60 parts, 2 coins each. To start building the ship you need 10 coins and 10 more coins to sail away. So the whole ship costs something like 140 coins. That's a lot of coin. A lot. It's so ridiculously expensive that makes the whole thing just better. And it shows how much worth that ship really is. It is really expensive. Good. Let's talk about the waiting. After building the ship, it will be pushed by 3 builders towards the coast, and if you didn't destroy the coastside portals, the builders will die. Make sure you destroy the portals, that's what I'm trying to say here. I think I mentioned this in every single video, but subjects are slow, very slow, and islands get bigger. You might think, how long does it take? Initially I want to show you, but I'm just going to tell you because you couldn't wait that long. Up to 10 minutes. 10 minutes doing nothing other than the typical stuff you do. Oh, but the game is about enjoying the scenery and discovering shit. Enjoying the scenery every now and again is fine, but not for 10 minutes with nothing to do. Well, at least we have the beautiful music. I can't shit on that. I don't even know how to move on from this. Let's move on to the hermits and mounts. On the islands themselves, you'll find way signs. Spend some money on that and nothing will happen. Yet, move on to the next island or die, and oh, what is that? Something appears on your map, a little statue. Look at that, so cute. You can unlock 30 of those, and how do you do that? One at a time, meaning that you have to play the first island once, the second island and the third island 2 times, the fourth island 4 times, and the fifth island twice to unlock everything. The fact that they just have to die to unlock the hermits and mounts is a saving grace, but the game is just being prolonged for no reason. Do you need the hermits and mounts to survive the last island and quote-unquote finish the game? Yeah, kind of. It's possible, but not really, especially on the 5th island. Mounts are cool and a new addition to the whole game. I love them, and the unicorn is here, but they don't add to the gameplay as much, you know? You see what I'm saying? You can see the rest for yourself. There are different mounts that I really like, especially the steed. Yeah, it's called the steed. Hermits. Let's talk about hermits. After the whole unlocking thing and starting again, you will be able to find a little house in the middle of the forest. Spend some coin, hermits come, hire the hermit, and what now? I can't really imagine how someone just starting the game would know how to work this whole thing the first time they play it. But here's what you have to do. You have to upgrade the useless towers that I didn't even mention in the last video because they're even more useless than farmers. So you upgrade the towers to max level, have the hermit with you, upgrade it again, and you have a new building depending on which hermit you have with you. None of the hermits have names, at least that I could find of, but I have blessed them with names myself. Olaf, the Hermit of Valor, will be able to build a Knight Tower. John, the Hermit of Tides, will be able to build a mighty ballista. And Emma, the Hermit of Hunger, will be able to build a bakery. Every hermit has its use, but Emma might take the cake. You got the joke, take the cake, it's bakery. Having an extra knight, not really necessary. The mighty ballista, only necessary for the 100-day challenge. The bakery though is very much necessary, especially on the 5th island. The 5th island tends to bend you over and insert various objects in your no-no zone because vagrant camps tend to be behind 2 or 3 portals in a very large map. You might think, oh no, that's no problem, just hire vagrants during the day. Have I mentioned that subjects are really slow, but they need an entire day to get to your camp? Okay, so then just destroy the portals and expand your kingdom then. For that you need citizens though. You see the problem? A bakery to the rescue. Investing money into the bakery will reward you with bread that will be displayed in the front of the bakery. This bread smells so good that the vagrants come running, emphasis on the running part, towards your camp. Melitele bless Nayo and Rofiri for Emma, the Hermit of Hunger. The monarch can then proceed to hire the vagrants before they eat the bread. Yes, vagrants will continuously eat up the bread until you hire them or all the bread is gone. Hiring problem solved. I think the additions to the game is pretty good. Fire and shepherds are still not here, but random encounter in the forest seems to be here. The world is expanded a little bit more with the island system, and the game still looks really good and it sounds really good, but even with all that added improvements and stuff, it's not the same jump from roots to classic. It feels like it's classic, just a little bit bigger and unnecessarily longer. I would like to whip out the standard sentence again. Kingdom New Lands is a huge, very minimal, less challenging strategy game that encourages you to stop and enjoy the scenery every now and again, discover new game mechanics, and spend over 100 hours playing the game. Yes, I spent over 100 hours on this game. The thing is that New Lands is not minimal anymore. It's still trying to be a challenging strategy game, but at the same time, a game about discovery. It stretches its game length for no reason almost. It hits you with curveballs and randomizes stuff just because. New Lands is, like I said, 2 steps forward and half a step backward. And after playing 100 hours, I can say it's still my favorite kingdom out of all of them. Out of the 3, Kingdom New Lands still my favorite. But there is a sequel. Did the sequel change everything up and made everything better? Did it completely fail? Or is it something in between? I'm working on that because I didn't finish the game, even though I bought it day 1 for the full price. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, tell me which kingdom is your favorite kingdom. That's a good question for everyone. Turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter. You know, the typical YouTube stuff you should do. Take care of yourselves and have a nice and wonderful day.